Okay, human skull, part 2. In part 2, I'm going to be working on these eyes and developing the bottom jaw. Okay, so for the eyes, I kind of want to move these landmarks around so they make more sense. And as you can see, they line up pretty good in the front view, and in the side view, these need to be moved back a little bit, and there we go. Also, I have hardly any topology here whatsoever to work with. But that's alright, because at the next level of smooth, I'll have more. So keep it very basic at first. So if this lines up here, it should also line up here. Okay, so I'm going to hop back into object mode and then add a mesh cube and do the same thing as I did before. Need this to be wireframe. Insert keyframe. Then I'm going to hit my keyframe on, go to solid, and keyframe that one. There we go. So they both now move into that same mode of operation. Okay, size this down. There we go. All right, now this one I'm going to cheat on, of course, because what I do want to do is make it into a jawbone, but I don't want to take all day of, kind of manipulating these points around to match that jaw. So rather than do that, I'm going to edge loop this character, or this box. I'm going to edge loop it here. And I'm going to edge loop it here. Okay. Then I'm going to hop into faces and delete these. Make sure I have that feature turned on right there. Okay, so this is what I have. And let me go back into Solid so you guys can see what I'm doing. I have this. Okay. I'm also going to cut off the back. And the bottom part. Good. Okay, gonna hop back into wireframe. Just start moving around these points. Okay, now one thing I want to say about the topology of this, I don't like having this extraordinary or this vertice right here. it will not make the character flow around that jaw very well. So I'm going to rough in this area. Okay, but then I'm going to take and grab all the edges, going all the way around the character on this jaw. Yep, just like that. Control E. And actually, I'm going to undo that real quick. I'm going to type in my Inset Extrude. Remember, I installed this in one of the previous tutorials. Inset Extrude is an add-on within Blender. Let's see if this actually works really well. And it kind of sucks with the whole edge loop around edges. So, I guess back to the previous idea of putting it in by hand with Extrude, which is a shame because Inset Extrude is much easier to work with. Well, it extrudes faces rather well. I guess I could go like this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab all the faces here and go to Inset Extrude. And there we go. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Alright, so now I have that topology that kind of roams around that bone. Okay, now I'm just going to match up stuff. You're going to find it a lot easier to match the topology now. Okay, what about up here, however, where this splits into a fork? What happens here? Well, insert an edge loop. And insert another edge loop. There we go. And I'm just moving this one around. Of course, I'm going to have to mirror modify this character here now. And let's see where I'm actually placing this. Good. So, to be less confusing about this nature of this thing, add a midline. Then go into solid and take out this one side. Go into object mode and add a modifier mirror. There we go. So now it doesn't matter where I place the edge loop, it's automatically going to place it onto the other side. Okay, front of the character. Grabbing points, immediately hopping into one on the keyboard, moving those points. In this case, I'm going to move it right to this landmark. Okay. And you can see that this landmark right here probably belongs right about there. Okay, and a lot of times, if you hop into like one of the top views, if you hold Control and 7, you can switch between views like this, and you can get the missing point factor here. And the missing point factor states, that this needs to be matching the other jaw. Okay. There we go. Now it's more round, and it kind of matches up a little bit better. Okay, same with this. I need an extra edge loop in here. Control 7. Move those points. Hop into 3. Good. You can pull this point back out just a little bit and then in. Now some of this stuff has to be done via your eyesight. So, you can rely on your orthographics all you want, but really, if you have a jacked up wireframe, it's going to affect you later on. So you're going to have to really use some common sense on things. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to apply the modifier for mirror here. And then I'm going to have to do a solidify. So go back into edit mode, highlight all my faces using A, type in solidify, and click that. Okay, solidify allows you to puff up your geometry. Just like that. And then again, I'm going to trim off the one side, go into object mode, and add the mirror modifier. It's so much easier to solidify a character without the mirror modifier on. Alright, then I want to take that face right there and this face right here and extrude those up. Okay, switch back into wireframe. Again, really kind of hard to see, but that's alright. Just, you know what I'm doing with these two faces. I'm making that jawbone right there. Okay. Alright, so that is part 2 of the skull. Let's move on to part 3.